Welcome to our channel, English Avenue, where we help you reach your full potential by sharing the wisdom of powerful books and motivational stories. Today, we're delving deeply into one of the most well-known books ever written, The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. This book isn't just another one about success. It's a roadmap for changing your mindset, career, happiness, and entire life. Take a moment to consider this. What if the only thing preventing you from living the life you've always wanted is the way you think? What if your bank account is the author, David J. Schwartz? Was an ordinary man who achieved extraordinary success not because he had special skills or a wealthy family, but because he mastered the power of thinking big. He claims that the size of your success is determined by the size of your thinking, meaning that if you think small, you live small, but if you train your mind to think big, truly fearlessly and boldly, your life will. In today's video, I'll walk you through the most impactful lessons from this book that will completely change your mindset. Your income will increase. Your relationships will flourish, and your opportunities will multiply. The best part is that this isn't about wishful thinking or unrealistic dreams but rather about realistic, tried and true strategies that help you overcome fear, self-doubt, and small thinking so you can achieve massive success in your life. That's not all. As you listen and pay attention to how I explain concepts, the words I use, and the examples I provide, you'll also improve your spoken English. This will help you become more fluent and confident in English while learning the secrets of success. This book contains 13 powerful lessons that will help you think bigger, build confidence, and achieve more in both your personal and professional life. If you're ready to change your life, the first lesson in the magic of thinking big is this: if you believe you can succeed, you will. If you believe you will fail, you already have. This may seem straightforward, but it's the cornerstone of every great success story in history. Think about it, every successful person, including Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, and Elon Musk, had one thing in common: they believed they could succeed. Let's break down what David J. Schwartz means when he says, "Belief is the thermostat that regulates what we accomplish in life." If you set a thermostat in a room at 25 degrees Celsius and 77 degrees Fahrenheit, regardless of what happens outside, the temperature inside the room will always adjust to match that number. Similarly, if you think you can only make $2,000 a month, you will take actions that keep you at that level. And if you think you're only average at work, you will never push yourself to be good at anything. The founder of Ford Motors, Henry Ford, once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." When Ford wanted to create the V8 engine, engineers told him it was impossible, but Ford didn't accept their disbelief, so he told his team, "Keep working until you find a way." This is great, but if you believe you can become a leader, a millionaire, or an expert in your field, you will start acting in ways that make it happen. The world would never have seen the V8 engine if Ford had heeded the realistic thinkers who questioned him. How can you apply this in your life? Get rid of negative self-talk and stop saying things like, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough." Instead, say things like, "I will figure this out, and I have what it takes." Surround yourself with believers. Avoid negative people who constantly explain why something won't work. Look for people who encourage big thinking and act as though you already lesson 2. Cure yourself of excusitis, the failure disease. The second lesson in the magic of thinking big is about excusitis, the disease of making excuses. Black states. The number one thing that holds people back is not lack of talent nor lack of intelligence, but rather a lack of belief in yourself. If you truly believe in your success, you'll start making decisions that lead to it. Believe in yourself even if you feel doubt. There are 4 common excuses that hinder success: health excuses, such as, I'm too tired, I have bad genes, I don't have enough energy; intelligence excuses, such as, I'm not smart enough, I wasn't good in school; age excuses, such as, I'm too young, and I'm too old; and luck excuses, such as, I'm just not lucky. Let's not forget about a man who had every reason to make excuses, but he chose courage instead. His name is Nick Vujicic, and he was born without arms. Imagine for a moment that he had no hands to write, no feet to walk, and no fingers to hold anything. He was unable to perform everyday tasks like eating with a spoon, opening doors, or tying his shoelaces. The majority of people would say, I can't do anything. Why me? My life is over. I'm not lucky. Excusitis is a mental illness that prevents people from growing. But Nick Vujicic cured himself of it by saying, I have no arms and my legs are not broken, but my heart and mind are powerful. Instead of focusing on what he didn't have, he focused on what he did have: a strong heart, a powerful mind, and a desire to inspire others. He learned to do things in his own way. He taught himself to type with 2 toes on his small foot. He learned to swim. He became a motivational speaker. He started traveling around the world to talk to millions of people about hope, self-love, and strength. He didn't say, I can't. How can I? He said, if a man without arms and legs can live without excuses, what's stopping you from taking action? Nick Vujicic, an international speaker, author, husband, and father, has inspired millions of people worldwide to stop making excuses and start taking action. Everyone has problems, but the successful ones don't say, I can't. Instead, they say, how can I? You don't need perfect conditions to succeed, you just need the right mindset. How to cure yourself of excusitis: stop focusing on your shortcomings, and instead of saying, I don't have enough experience, say, I will learn and gain experience. Take charge of your life and stop blaming the economy, your boss, or your past. You are in control. Rewire your mind so that every time you catch yourself making an excuse, you immediately replace it with an empowering belief that the world is the truth. Action cures fear, indecision, postponement, and hesitation fertilize it. David J. Schwartz states that, if you want to succeed, you must get rid of excusitis and take action no matter what. Lesson 3: Build confidence and destroy fear. Fear is the greatest enemy of success because it paralyzes you, prevents you from taking action, and keeps you stuck in a small, ordinary life. Instead, you must eliminate fear and build unshakable confidence. Like a shadow, it appears enormous from a distance but gets smaller as you get closer. Most people wait until they feel confident before acting, but that isn't how confidence works. Action comes first, confidence follows. Public speaking is one of the most common fears in the world. Imagine two people who avoid speaking in front of others because they are afraid and always say, "I'm not ready yet." The difference is that person B took action to build unshakable confidence by doing what scares them repeatedly. Fear is destroyed through repeated exposure. For example, if you're afraid to start a conversation, start saying hello to strangers. If you're afraid of failing, start doing small things where failure doesn't matter, or if you're afraid to start a business. The first time your hands shake, the second time you feel a little more at ease, and the 10th time you're completely confident. The more you face your fears, the weaker your business will become. Speak with confidence, even if you don't feel it. Stop using weak phrases like, "I think I can" or "maybe I'll try." Speak with power, "I can do this, I'll figure it out." If you talk like a leader, you will become one. Spend 5 minutes every day visualizing yourself as successful and confident. Imagine yourself speaking on stage, running a meeting, or realizing your dream. The more you see it in your mind, the more it will become your reality. Lesson 4. Think like a leader. David J. Schwartz states, "The world is full of followers, but leaders shape the future." If you want a bigger life, you must think like a leader. What does it mean to think like a leader? It means accepting responsibility rather than offering excuses. Seeing opportunities where others see problems, making decisions, and acting even when it's uncomfortable. Let's compare the ways that followers and leaders think. Imagine two employees in the same company. Employee A follows instructions and complains when faced with a problem, saying, "This is not my job." Employee B takes initiative, finds a solution, and helps their team. They think like a leader. After 2 years, who do you think will get promoted? Employee B, of course, because leadership is about mindset. Stop blaming, start owning. Stop blaming your boss, and stop blaming your past economy or your circumstances. Instead ask, "What can I do to improve my situation?" Speak with authority. Leaders don't hesitate or whisper their opinions. Instead, they speak with clarity and confidence. The next time you share an idea, say it with confidence. Be the person who solves problems. When a challenge arises, don't say, "This is impossible," but rather ask, "What's the best way to handle this?" When you start thinking like a leader, people will notice. And success will follow. Lesson 5. David J. Schwartz once said, "Ideas alone won't bring success, only action can give you results." As an example, consider how many people talk about getting in shape but never start exercising, how many people dream of starting a business but never take the first step. And how many people wish for success but never take action? Successful people are different, they act quickly and keep going. This is the biggest difference between winners and losers. I'll start my business someday. I'll write my book when I have more time. I'll learn English when life gets less busy. However, someday is just an excuse. There is no ideal time to start a YouTube channel, and if you wait, you'll be stuck forever. For example, If two people want to start a YouTube channel, person A spends months planning, watching tutorials, and waiting for the right moment, but they never start. Person B starts with a simple video, but they get better over time. After a year, they have 100 videos and thousands of followers. Subscribers who succeed as person B do so because action always wins out over perfection. Follow the "do it now" rule, which states that if something takes less than 5 minutes, do it right away. Don't overthink it, just start setting deadlines for everything. If you want to start exercising, set a date. For example, I'll work out tomorrow at 7 a.m. Lesson 6. Surround yourself with the right people. Have you ever heard the saying, you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with? This is one of the most potent truths in life. The people you surround yourself with influence your thoughts, habits, self-esteem, and even your behavior. If you want to write a book, set a deadline. I will finish chapter 1 by Sunday. Accept imperfection. Your first attempt won't be perfect, but that's normal. Start anyway. If you put a sponge in a bucket of dirty water, it will absorb the dirt and become dirty. However, if you put the same sponge in a bucket of clean, fresh water, it will absorb that purity. You are the sponge, and the people you surround yourself with are the water. If you spend your time with negative people who constantly complain, you will start complaining, lazily making excuses, and becoming afraid of challenges. If you surround yourself with confident people, you will start making excuses, being lazy, and avoiding challenges. The power of the right circle. Imagine 2 students, Sarah and Lisa, who both aspire to become doctors. Sarah's friends are ambitious and hardworking. They get up early to study and encourage each other to work. If you surround yourself with people who hold you back, you will cease believing in yourself. Successful people who take action will begin taking action. Positive people who see opportunities will begin seeing opportunities. Your environment controls your mindset. After 5 years, Sarah becomes a doctor, but she fails to differentiate the people they surrounded themselves with. Determine who is helping and who is hurting you. Make a list of the 5 people you spend the most time with. They share knowledge and support one another. Sarah naturally becomes disciplined and motivated. Lisa's friends are lazy and careless. They laugh at people who study. They spend hours on their phones and skip classes. Lisa begins to copy their behavior and loses focus. People who constantly complain, criticize, or make excuses should be avoided. If you can't find successful people in real life, surround yourself with people who are driven and positive by reading books, watching inspirational videos, and learning from brilliant minds. You don't have to be born in the right environment, you can create the right one. Lesson 7. Master the art of self-discipline. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Most people fail in life not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they lack self-discipline, which is the ability to do what you need to do even when you don't feel like it. Wake up early, study even when you feel tired, work out even when you don't feel like it, and choose who you spend your time with. If you surround yourself with winners, you will become a winner. Consider an Olympic athlete and an average person. The athlete wakes up at 5 in the morning, eats healthy food, skips workouts, and watches TV for hours. The average person wakes up late, eats junk food, skips workouts, and sacrifices short-term pleasure for long-term success. Both have the same 24 hours, but the difference is self-discipline. Learn how to develop unstoppable discipline by starting with small victories. If you try to change everything at once, you will fail. I will exercise every day, no matter what. And I will work on my goals for an hour every day without excuses. If you want to eat healthily, don't keep junk food in the house. If you want to focus, put your phone in another room. Self-discipline is easier when you don't rely on willpower alone. Remember the pain of regret one day. Your future self will thank you or regret what you did. Lesson 8. Never stop learning and growing. Most people stop learning after school because they think education is only for students. But the truth is that learning should never stop because the world changes quickly, technology advances, and new opportunities arise. If you stop learning, you get left behind. Keep in mind that people who read books learn new skills and adapt. Today, whenever you feel lazy, ask yourself, do I want to regret this later? Discipline is difficult, but regret is harder. Are constantly ahead, while those who stop learning stagnate and fall behind. Imagine two co-workers, John and Alex. John feels that learning ends after school, never reads books, and never develops his skills. He laments that life is unfair and remains in the same job for years. Alex, on the other hand, believes in lifelong learning. He reads every day, learns new skills, and enrolls in online courses. Over time, he gains promotions, earns more money, and develops as a person. Who do you think will be more successful in 5 years, Alex? In today's world, you can learn anything from anywhere. Invest in yourself by spending money on books, seminars, and courses. You are your greatest asset. The more you invest in your mind, the richer you become. The average CEO reads 52 books annually, but reading just 10 pages a day equals 1 book per month, or 12 books annually. Books teach you from the greatest minds in history. There is a silent killer of dreams that many people never discuss. It's not failure, lack of talent, or poverty, rather, it's the fear of what other people will think, the fear of judgment, the fear of criticism, and the fear of not being accepted. This fear causes people to hide their true selves and makes them make decisions that will prevent them from moving forward in life. Lesson 9. Never stop learning, never stop improving, and the moment you stop growing, you start dying. Careers they don't love in order to please their parents, which keeps them in toxic relationships and keeps them silent even when their hearts are screaming. However, the truth is that you were not born to please everyone, rather, you were born to live your own life, pursue your own goals, and become your best self. Learn to stop caring about what other people think and realize that people will always judge you, whether you succeed or fail. If you speak, they will say you're loud. If you don't say anything, they'll say you're weak and can't win in their eyes, so stop trying to win in your own eyes. Ask yourself, who am I living for? Are you living to please your parents? Are you dressing to impress others? Are you choosing your dreams or their expectations? If you died tomorrow, would you be happy with your life? Practice being yourself every day, wear what you like, say what you believe, and choose your path, even if no one understands it. The world will adjust. But first you have to accept yourself completely. Your life is a gift, so don't waste it trying to be someone else. Lesson 10. Make peace with your past. Your past is not a prison. While many people live like prisoners, reliving past mistakes in their minds, crying over what they lost, and punishing themselves for things they did or didn't do. The good news is that your past was a lesson, not a life sentence, and it was meant to teach you rather than destroy you. For instance, a man named Alex used to be an alcoholic who harmed his wife, lost his job, and even pushed away his own children. After 10 years, he changed, got clean, began helping other addicts, and became a speaker, sharing his story to help others. However, he was plagued by guilt and was unable to forgive himself for the suffering he caused. One day, an elderly man told him, "You can't drive forward by staring at the rearview mirror, you'll crash." That day Alex realized he had to make peace with his past to create a better future. He visited his children, apologized, cried, and hugged them. He didn't erase the past, he healed from it. And now he's living proof that your past mistakes can become your greatest message. How to let go of the past and move forward, accept what happened without denial. Don't pretend it didn't hurt. Don't fake strength. Cry if you must, mourn if you must, but don't stay there. Forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness is not saying it was okay, forgiveness is saying, I'm choosing peace over pain. Lesson 11. Accept failure as your greatest teacher. Most people fear failure because they believe it is the end and feel ashamed, so they hide it. However, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. Every successful person has failed. Break free from the chains of blame and hate. Write a new chapter. Your story isn't finished. Your next page can be beautiful if you stop rereading the painful ones. Start something new. For instance, the girl who failed the exam, Emily, always wanted to be a doctor and studied day and night for her entrance exam while her friends went to parties, watched movies, or browsed social media. Emily sat in her room solving papers, memorizing books, and believing in one thing, I will make it, this is my future. When the results came in, she failed by a small margin, only a few marks, but it felt like her entire life. For a while, she believed her relatives when they said, maybe she's not smart enough. She cried for days, didn't eat well, and locked herself in her room. People whispered. She studied so hard and still failed. She thought, maybe they're right, maybe I'm not meant for this. However, one morning, her mother quietly placed a small note on her table that read, "Failure is not the end, it is the beginning of a better version of you. Get up and try again." Emily said, "My failure was painful, but it showed me where I went wrong, it taught me how to rise." The following year, she took the exam again, passing with a top rank. Years later, Emily became a doctor and now tells her patients, "Don't fear failure. It taught me more than any textbook ever did how to turn failure into fuel. Don't take it personally." Something clicked inside her, and this time, Emily didn't just memorize, she understood deeply. She discovered new ways to learn. Failure does not imply that you are a failure, rather, it indicates that your approach did not work. Try another one and ask yourself what you can learn from it. Ask yourself what I missed, what I can do better, and what I should avoid the next time. Keep going even after you fail. Every successful person has scars. Let your failures be evidence that you tried. Celebrate your courage because most people never even try. If you failed, it means you had the courage to start, which is powerful. Use your failures as stepping stones, not indicators, and grow from them. Lesson 12. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Millions of people have died with their dreams still alive. Not because they lacked potential but rather because they kept waiting for the right moment. They waited for more confidence, more money, better support, better health, the right age, the right mindset, and the right opportunity, but the ideal time never arrived. This silent dream killer is something that most people are unaware of. And the truth is that it never does. What this lesson really means is that life doesn't wait, and you shouldn't either. If you wait until everything is green before you set out, you'll never leave your house. Starting out scared is better than never starting, starting confused is better than dying with regrets, and taking small action now is better than dreaming big forever. Because what most people call waiting is actually a form of fear hiding behind excuses. There was a woman in her late 30s who had always wanted to run as she waited for years for the right moment. But she kept thinking, "I'm too old, I don't have running shoes, I need to lose weight first, I'm not athletic." One day, her friend pushed her to consider what if the right moment never arrived. So she went for a 10-minute walk that evening with no training, 15 minutes the next day, and 20. 6 months later, she finished her first marathon, not as a winner, but as a warrior, because she didn't wait to get ready, she started and became ready by taking action. Why must we act now? Later, when the clock is always running out. Every minute you wait is a minute you'll never get back. One day, you'll look back and wish you had started today. You learn more by doing instead of thinking. Thinking won't help you build your business, overplanning won't help you write your book, doubting won't change your body, and waiting gives you the power to be afraid. The longer you wait, the more fearful you become. When you act, fear decreases. When you delay, fear increases. You don't need to see the entire path, you just need to see the next step. You can't see the whole road, but you keep going because clarity comes from action. What you can do now is write the first sentence of your book, take that 5-minute walk, record your first video, no matter how messy. Make that call, apply for that job, and launch that idea. After all, the biggest obstacle to progress is the delusion of someday, and someday isn't a day on the calendar. Keep in mind that you don't need perfect timing, you need brave beginnings, and the world doesn't need a perfect you. Needs a real you who shows up. Lesson 13, Ideas are useless without action. Think about this. How many times have you had a great idea but never followed through on it? Perhaps you considered starting a YouTube channel, launching a small business, or improving your health. But days, months, or even years went by and you remained in the same place? This is because ideas alone mean nothing. The harsh reality is that most people are just talkers. They love to talk about their dreams, saying things like, "One day I'll start my own business, I have an amazing book idea, and I'll get fit maybe next month." However, talking about success won't make you successful, only action will. A business idea that never gets off the ground will never make money, a book idea that is never written will never be read. A fitness goal that is never followed through on won't make you healthy. Are like seeds, if you don't plant them, they won't grow. Why do people not act? Because they are afraid of failing. What if I fail? Fear of being judged? Fear of imperfection? What if it's not good enough? These fears paralyze people as they wait for the ideal time, the ideal plan, and the ideal circumstances. But in reality, perfection never comes. Action cures fear. The moment you start, fear starts to fade. Success comes to those who don't just think. The most successful people in the world are not those who have the best ideas, rather, they are the ones who actually take action. The first step is the hardest, but it changes everything. If you want to change your life, take action now. Start small, but start. If you want to start a business, do 10 push-ups today. If you have an amazing idea for a business but never start. Person B has an average idea but takes action and works hard. Who do you think will succeed? Person B. A year from now, you will still be in the same place, wishing you had taken action. You have read 13 life-changing lessons, which are more than just words on a page, they are keys to transformation. Each lesson was created to awaken something inside of you, such as a hunger to grow or a refusal to put out a fire in order to live fully, but keep in mind that these lessons never change. The perfect time is now to be a doer rather than a dreamer. Nothing will change in your life unless you put what you've learned into practice. If you want to be confident, start taking chances. If you want to succeed, start acting. If you want to be happy, start making the decision every day. You don't have to be perfect or have everything worked out, you just need to start. No one is going to save you or live your dreams for you. You are the protagonist of your story, you are the creator of your masterpiece, you are the author of your next chapter. The past is over, the future is not yet written, but right now. This is where you take charge, let go of negativity, let go of toxic people, let go of their energy, let go of self-doubt, and realize that you are capable of more than you realize. You deserve to live a life full of passion, purpose, and peace. You deserve to wake up feeling excited rather than exhausted. You deserve to be surrounded by people who make you feel good rather than depressed, and guess what? You have the power to create that life. Your happiness, your future, and your dreams are in your hands. Stop waiting, stop doubting, stop putting this off. It is your time, so stop making excuses, regretting what you've done, and wasting years. Go after the life you deserve, have faith in yourself, and never give up. One last quote to keep in mind is that change is what makes your life better, and that change begins with you right now. So, Go out there and live an extraordinary life.